Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Sunday at Northwest Stadium delivered a spectacle that NFL fans will be talking about for weeks, as the former Oregon Duck quarterbacks found themselves on opposite sidelines in a game that had playoff implications written all over it. Marcus Mariota, the veteran signal caller for the Washington Commanders, faced off against Denver Broncos rookie Bo Nix in a contest that promised drama, tension, and high stakes for the Commanders. This was more than a game. It was a chance to keep their fading playoff hopes alive, and for fans, it was an emotional roller coaster from the opening snap to the final whistle. Mariota, now in his 11th year in the league, carried the weight of experience and the reputation of being a dependable, if sometimes inconsistent, quarterback who has proven he can make big plays when the moment demands it. On the other side, Nix brought youthful energy and a contrasting style that made this Oregon reunion all the more compelling. What unfolded was a mixture of near misses, explosive plays, and moments that reminded everyone why Mariota, despite the loss, still has the ability to shine on football's biggest stages. From the very first series, it was clear that Washington was not going to roll over, but the Broncos' defense was relentless, testing Mariota in ways that required both mental toughness and physical grit. The numbers tell part of the story, and they paint a picture of a quarterback who, even in defeat, managed to make his presence felt. Mariota completed 28 of 50 passes, giving him a completion rate of 56%, and threw for the touchdowns against one interception. He also showcased his signature mobility, rushing for a season-high 55 yards on 10 carries, combining his passing and running abilities to keep the Broncos on their heels. Both touchdowns came in the second half, highlighting Mariota's capacity to adjust and thrive against one of the league's top-ranked defenses. His performance reflected not just technical skill, but also endurance and resilience, traits that have defined his career from his days at the University of Oregon to his induction into the Oregon Athletics Hall of Fame. It was a display of leadership and perseverance, even as the scoreboard ultimately tilted in favor of the Broncos. Mariota's ability to balance downfield passing with strategic runs demonstrated why he remains a valuable asset to the Commanders, showing flashes of brilliance that could serve as blueprints for future successes. While the final result was a narrow 27-26 overtime defeat, Mariota's play underscored that a quarterback can still leave an indelible mark, even when the win column does not reflect it. Mariota's skill in distributing the ball downfield was particularly noticeable throughout the game, especially during the stretches that defined momentum early on. An 11-yard connection to tight end Zach Ertz set the tone for a passing attack that would increasingly stretch the Broncos' defense. A subsequent 21-yard strike to Ertz demonstrated Mariota's ability to read coverage and make accurate, timely throws that could flip field position and energize his team. His long passes, those 10 yards and beyond that can change the complexion of a drive, were primarily directed at Ertz and wide receiver Terry McLaurin, showing a clear understanding of his go-to targets. 6 long passes landed in McLaurin's hands, while 5 connected with Ertz, highlighting both trust and chemistry. Perhaps most memorable was the 38-yard completion to Deebo Samuel late in overtime, a play that set up a first-and-goal scenario and showcased Mariota's veteran poise in clutch situations, even as the coverage left some room for interpretation. Mariota's ability to progress through his reads and deliver precision under pressure reflected the instincts that have kept him in the league for over a decade. These moments illustrated a quarterback capable of creating opportunities, even against one of the league's most formidable defensive units. Yet, the game was not without its struggles. Mariota's early missteps, including a missed 2-point conversion to running back Jeremy McNichols, hinted at the challenges he faced adjusting to Denver's defensive schemes. McNichols had been wide open, but the pass went awry, exemplifying how even experienced quarterbacks can falter under pressure, or when timing is slightly off. The first drive of the Commanders, an extended 6-minute, 10-play sequence, revealed that the running game would not be enough to consistently challenge the Broncos' defensive front. Mariota's initial attempts to establish rhythm through the air were met with incompletions to both Ertz and McLaurin, creating a sense that the team needed to adapt on the fly. His sole interception, which came in the opening minute of the second half, further complicated matters, forcing Washington to rethink its offensive approach. The team did manage to recover a fumble after Mariota was sacked, a crucial play that mitigated the risk of momentum completely swinging in Denver's favor. These early setbacks, though frustrating, served to highlight Mariota's ability to remain composed, reset, and continue fighting through adversity. Traits that distinguish seasoned professionals from less experienced players. Mariota's rushing, however, provided a visual reminder of his toughness and versatility. Time and again, he took hits, absorbed contact, and picked up critical first downs, demonstrating that his value extends far beyond passing accuracy. His uniform bore the marks of his effort, smeared with dirt and grass stains that testified to a quarterback willing to fight for every yard. The post-game interaction with Bo Nix, embracing on the field after overtime, was emblematic of the mutual respect forged through competition and underscored the sportsmanship that defines professional football. Nix himself acknowledged Mariota's performance, saying, "A guy like that, he deserves to go out there and perform at that level. You almost wish both teams could win a game like that." The sentiment captures the duality of Mariota's day. A loss in the standings, but a victory in respect and recognition of his capabilities. The physical and mental resilience on display highlighted why Mariota, even in challenging moments, remains a player coaches and teammates trust to execute under pressure. Despite the Commanders' narrow defeat, Mariota's performance carried enough positives to solidify his place within the team's future plans. While the loss stings for a playoff-chasing franchise, the veteran quarterback demonstrated that he still possesses the tools, vision, and athleticism to impact games meaningfully. Analysts and fans alike could see flashes of the player who was once the second overall pick in the NFL draft, blending accuracy, mobility, and strategic awareness to create opportunities even in adverse situations. The interplay with his receivers' ability to respond under duress and resilience when faced with turnovers reflect a professional who has honed his craft over more than a decade. It is the kind of performance that secures backup roles, mentoring responsibilities, and continued respect in a league that constantly evolves and challenges its players to adapt. Mariota may not have left with a win in the standings, but he walked off the field reaffirmed as a quarterback capable of elevating a team, carrying leadership responsibilities, and providing flashes of brilliance that remind fans why he is still relevant as the dust settles. From Week 13, Marcus Mariota emerges as both a winner and a loser, a paradox that underscores the complexity of NFL narratives. The scoreboard reflected disappointment, a 1-point overtime loss that could influence draft positions and playoff trajectories. Yet, the story of Mariota is one of endurance, skill, and moments that define careers. His ability to connect downfield, scramble effectively, and make pivotal plays in critical situations illustrates a professional who refuses to be diminished by a single result. Washington Commanders fans may lament the lost opportunity to advance, but they also witnessed a veteran quarterback who carried the team valiantly, showing resilience and adaptability. Mariota's performance serves as a reminder that in football, winning and losing are not always as simple as the final score. They are measured in effort, execution, and the intangible qualities that elevate teammates and define leaders as the season progresses. His play against the Broncos will likely be remembered as a microcosm of his career. Moments of brilliance intertwined with adversity, all executed with poise, grit, and unwavering determination. Mariota's journey in Week 13 encapsulates the duality of professional sports, where a player can simultaneously be celebrated for individual excellence and criticized for team results. The game highlighted his capacity to push the offense, execute complex reads, and maintain composure under pressure, providing tangible evidence that he still has the athleticism and football IQ to compete at a high level. His ability to distribute passes effectively, especially in high-pressure situations during overtime, demonstrated a veteran's instinct to manage the game and create opportunities for his teammates. At the same time, the early struggles and critical errors reminded observers that even experienced quarterbacks must navigate the unpredictability of NFL defenses. The embrace between Mariota and Nix after the hard-fought contest symbolized respect, sportsmanship, and the acknowledgement of effort over outcome. Mariota's dual status as both winner and loser of the week underscores the intricate balance in football between individual performance and team success, illustrating why narratives in the NFL are rarely black and white. His ability to inspire, lead, and perform despite adversity will likely keep him in the conversation as both a valuable mentor and a capable backup in the seasons to come. In the end, Marcus Mariota's Week 13 performance against the Denver Broncos will be remembered as a compelling narrative of perseverance, skill, and professional pride, while the Washington Commanders fell just short in overtime. The game offered a showcase of Mariota's strengths, from precise downfield throws and strategic decision-making to his signature rushing ability that can turn the tide of a drive. Each pass, scramble, and connection with his receivers reflected the culmination of years of experience, training, and dedication to the craft of quarterbacking, though the scoreboard favored the Broncos. Mariota's display of resilience, leadership, and football acumen highlighted why he remains a respected and capable figure in the NFL. Week 13 may have delivered a loss in terms of results, but for fans, analysts, and teammates, the victory lay in witnessing a quarterback who continues to defy age, expectation, and circumstance, reminding the football world that Marcus Mariota, for all his career ups and downs, still possesses the tools, mindset, and competitive fire to leave a lasting mark on every game he plays. In a league where every snap can swing momentum and define legacies, Mariota's day was a testament to the fact that winning is not solely about the scoreboard, but about the courage, talent, and leadership one brings to the field, even when the final whistle signals a narrow defeat. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The atmosphere at the team's practice facility has reportedly descended into pure chaos, and insiders are whispering that this could be one of the most explosive moments in recent team history. Sources close to the locker room suggest that defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who has long been known for his fiery demeanor and relentless drive, may have finally lost the last threads of control over his squad. What started as a normal, intense practice reportedly spiraled into a full-blown confrontation, leaving the coaching staff scrambling and players visibly shaken. Eyewitnesses say the turning point came when veteran wide receiver Terry McLaurin, a respected and outspoken leader in the locker room, clashed with Quinn in a manner that stunned everyone present. It is said that what was initially a heated exchange of words quickly escalated into something much more serious, culminating in McLaurin being publicly expelled from the practice field right in front of his teammates. The scene has been described as surreal, with players caught between loyalty to their teammate and the authority of a coach known for demanding absolute discipline. Those who were there describe a level of tension rarely seen in the sport, with sideline staff struggling to contain the situation and maintain even a semblance of order. Rumors are swirling that the exchange was about more than just an isolated disagreement. Some insiders suggest that it was the boiling over of months, perhaps even years, of frustration that had been simmering beneath the surface. McLaurin, who has consistently been a voice for the players and someone unafraid to speak his mind, reportedly reached a breaking point with what he perceived as unreasonable demands and an increasingly volatile approach from Quinn. Sources claim that the confrontation was both verbal and intense, with body language and gestures amplifying the sense of conflict. A number of teammates are said to have tried to intervene, but the momentum of the clash reportedly left even the most seasoned players unsure of how to react. It was like watching a storm hit the field, one anonymous source is quoted as saying. Nobody knew if this was going to end in tears, resignations, or worse. Whispers from the locker room suggest that Quinn's approach has grown increasingly unpredictable, with his normally precise, strategic instructions giving way to erratic outbursts that some players reportedly find difficult to follow. There are murmurs that the coach's insistence on discipline and absolute control, once seen as a hallmark of his leadership, may have tipped into counterproductive territory, creating an atmosphere charged with tension and anxiety. Observers claim that the McLaurin incident was not entirely unexpected, given the subtle frictions that had been building over time. Veteran players, according to those close to the situation, had noticed an uptick in confrontations and a growing disconnect between coaching intentions and player morale. While McLaurin has always been known for his composure on and off the field, sources insist that even he has a breaking point, and this particular day appears to have marked that limit. The dramatic nature of his removal from the practice was reportedly jaw-dropping to everyone watching. Rather than a quiet, private conversation behind closed doors, it played out openly, leaving the rest of the roster to witness an unprecedented scene of discord. The phrase "it's over for him" is said to have been muttered among players immediately after the incident, reflecting both the shock and the perceived severity of the situation. Insiders suggest that the phrase was not just about McLaurin in the moment, but also about what it symbolizes for the wider locker room, a possible shift in leadership dynamics, a challenge to authority, and a sense that the established order is being questioned. Rumors indicate that some younger players were left uncertain about where their allegiances should lie, torn between the coach who commands the game plan and the veteran who has earned respect through years of consistency and performance. The psychological impact, according to sources, could linger far beyond the day of practice, affecting everything from training intensity to in-game execution, adding fuel to the fire. There are reports that Quinn's reaction to McLaurin's behavior was unusually harsh, catching even long-term staff members off guard. Some insiders speculate that the coach may have felt a combination of frustration, stress, and a need to assert authority, which unfortunately manifested in a public confrontation that few expected. Observers note that such moments, while rare, can define a season, influencing locker room culture and shaping the perception of leadership for years to come. Rumors are circulating that the coaching staff has been quietly assessing whether this incident represents a unique lapse in judgment or a symptom of deeper systemic issues within the team's management structure. While no official statements have been made, sources suggest that internal discussions are ongoing about how to restore trust, rebuild morale, and ensure that future practices do not descend into similar chaos. Those familiar with the team's inner workings indicate that McLaurin, despite being the focal point of the incident, is likely to remain a central figure in locker room conversations, as his actions have sparked debates about player empowerment, respect, and the balance of authority in professional sports. Meanwhile, fans and analysts are said to be buzzing with speculation, dissecting every detail of the rumored confrontation and pondering the implications for the team's trajectory. Some insiders predict that this incident could have ripple effects, extending far beyond a single practice, potentially influencing trade considerations, contract negotiations, and leadership roles within the roster. The notion that one man's outburst, albeit a respected veteran, could challenge the authority of a coach like Quinn has captured the imagination of observers, sparking debates about how discipline, respect, and passion intersect in high-stakes sports environments. According to whispered accounts, the mood in the locker room immediately following the incident was tense, with players reportedly avoiding eye contact, discussing the events in hushed tones, and even questioning their next steps in training. Rumors also suggest that Quinn may be reflecting on the incident privately, considering whether his approach was too severe or whether it was necessary to assert control in a situation that had clearly escalated beyond his expectations. Some sources indicate that there is a faction of players who support the coach's strict stance, believing that discipline is critical to long-term success, while another faction views the public removal of a respected veteran as an overreach, creating a delicate balance of opinions that could shape team dynamics in the weeks and months to come. Adding another layer to the speculation, there are whispers about potential repercussions for both McLaurin and Quinn. Insiders claim that discussions have begun behind closed doors regarding the appropriate course of action, ranging from mediation and counseling to more severe measures aimed at reinforcing authority or restoring harmony. The uncertainty surrounding these decisions appears to be feeding ongoing rumors and fueling conversations among fans, analysts, and even rival teams, all eager to understand how such a high-profile incident could impact performance, morale, and future leadership strategies. The emotional intensity of the moment, paired with the stature of the individuals involved, has created a perfect storm for speculation, with everyone eager to interpret motives, predict consequences, and assess how this clash might alter the trajectory of both the coach and the veteran player. Observers close to the team indicate that, regardless of the resolution, this incident has already left an indelible mark on the culture of the squad, signaling to all involved that tensions, passion, and the human element can explode in unexpected ways, even in highly professional environments. As the rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear: the clash between Dan Quinn and Terry McLaurin has generated a level of intrigue and drama that will dominate conversations for weeks. Sources insist that the incident is being analyzed from every angle, with every gesture, word, and reaction scrutinized to uncover underlying tensions and potential consequences. The locker room, once a place of structured routines and predictable hierarchy, is reportedly now a landscape of uncertainty, speculation, and whispered debates about loyalty, leadership, and the delicate balance between authority and respect. According to those with inside knowledge, Even small interactions in upcoming practices are likely to be examined for signs of residual friction, as players and coaches alike adjust to the aftershocks of a confrontation that no one saw coming, but that may well define the culture of the team moving forward. Fans, commentators, and insiders are watching closely, knowing that this incident is more than just a single outburst. It could be a pivotal moment that shapes the narrative of the season, alters leadership dynamics, and challenges everyone involved to navigate a new and uncertain chapter in professional sports. Drama, the lasting impression, insiders say, is one of disbelief and curiosity. While Dan Quinn has long been celebrated for his intensity, focus, and ability to command respect, this incident suggests that even the most disciplined environments can fracture under pressure. Likewise, Terry McLaurin, admired for his professionalism and leadership, is suddenly at the center of a storm that could redefine his legacy within the team. Observers emphasize that the ripple effects of this confrontation will be felt far beyond the practice field, influencing locker room cohesion, team morale, and the delicate interplay between coaches and players in high-pressure scenarios. For now, whispers continue to spread. Speculation dominates discussions, and every observer is left wondering what will happen next, and who will ultimately emerge as the defining voice of authority and leadership. As the rumor mill churns, one thing is certain: this explosive clash has captured the imagination of everyone connected to the team, creating a narrative filled with tension, drama, and a sense of uncertainty that could reshape the course of the season in ways no one can yet predict. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.